Oh, thank you. This is his Cybertruck, and the one that got impounded and seized in Manchester was also...
The UK's recent ban on Tesla Cybertruck just took things to a whole new level, sparking outrage, shock, heated debates, and Elon Musk losing his mind. With British police dramatically seizing one of these futuristic trucks on Manchester streets, everyone's asking, could this be the beginning of the end for Elon Musk's most talked about vehicle?
Terrorists and planning violent incidents has been one of the most talked about emerging problems by law enforcement officials coast to coast over the past year.
You're casually driving down the streets of Greater Manchester when suddenly something straight out of a futuristic movie passes by. A matte black Tesla Cybertruck, enormous and eye-catching, unlike anything you've seen on British roads. That's exactly what happened recently when local police spotted this striking vehicle cruising through traffic. But instead of pulling it over just to admire the tech-savvy craftsmanship, the officers swiftly stopped the truck, and what followed was something you'd usually see in an action-packed Netflix documentary. It turned out the driver, a UK resident, had registered the Cybertruck abroad, hoping to sidestep Britain's notoriously strict road regulations. Maybe he thought he'd found a clever loophole or perhaps underestimated the authorities' vigilance. Unfortunately for him, UK police aren't exactly known for letting things slide, especially when it involves a vehicle as bold and clearly illegal as the Cybertruck. Without hesitation, they seized the truck right then and there under Section 165 of the Road Traffic Act, making one of the most dramatic automotive seizures in recent memory. The news instantly blew up on social media. Tesla enthusiasts and critics alike couldn't believe what they'd just seen. Elon Musk's iconic electric truck, one of the most hyped vehicles globally, hadn't just got a warning. It was banned entirely from UK roads. People were shocked, amused, and even angry. Everyone wanted to know why the British government had taken such a hard stance against this innovative vehicle, and that's exactly what I wanted to find out too. At first, you might think the Cybertruck ban was due to some minor paperwork issue, a bureaucratic snag that could easily be sorted out. But it's actually far deeper and much more serious than that. The UK didn't just ban the Cybertruck over technicalities, they declared it fundamentally unsafe and unsuitable for public roads.
Yeah.
So they stopped him midnight. They said the documents, he showed documents to them, and the police said, I'm not happy with the insurance.
So he showed the documents.
This critical document missing was something called a certificate of conformity. Think of this as your car's passport. It proves the vehicle meets all necessary safety and environmental standards required by the UK and the broader European Union. Without this certificate, no vehicle, regardless of how famous or futuristic, can legally operate on British roads. And the Cybertruck didn't just lack this certificate, it flat out couldn't get one, because it fundamentally didn't meet the criteria. The UK authorities were crystal clear in their verdict. This wasn't just simple paperwork missing or a minor administrative error. Instead, the Cybertruck itself had critical safety flaws that directly conflicted with established road laws. This meant the seizure in Manchester wasn't just an isolated event. It symbolized an official nationwide rejection of Tesla's most ambitious creation yet. Sure, it's cool, eye-catching, and built like something out of a sci-fi thriller, but those striking angles and sharp lines aren't just design statements. They're precisely what's causing this controversy. You see, the UK has strict safety standards, especially regarding pedestrian and cyclist safety. Most cars on British roads are carefully designed with rounded edges to absorb impact in collisions. However, the Cybertruck does the exact opposite. It features a stainless steel exoskeleton built with extremely sharp, rigid, angular edges. Sure, it might protect passengers inside like a fortress, but for anyone unlucky enough to collide with the exterior, like pedestrians or cyclists, the outcome would be catastrophic.
This kind of barcode, everything comes up on Google.
Okay, so it proves that he's actually legitimate.
So yes, so they seized it. They've done him for Section 165.
Section 165 in the UK, power of constables to obtain names and addresses of drivers and others, and to require production of evidence of insurance and test certificates.
The sharp edges and robust steel panels don't absorb impact. Instead, they magnify injuries, essentially turning the truck into a dangerous moving object that the authorities simply can't allow. In other words, if you're crossing the street or biking beside this futuristic beast, the Cybertruck becomes less of an innovative ride and more of a giant metal hazard. It's this fundamental safety conflict more than anything else that's led UK regulators to firmly say no. But sharp edges aren't the Cybertruck's only issue. The vehicle is an absolute heavyweight, tipping the scales at over 3,100 kilograms. That's nearly 7,000 pounds. Heavier than many SUVs and small trucks, this massive weight alone creates a serious licensing headache in the UK. Here's why. Most everyday British drivers hold what's called a Category B driver's license, which legally limits them to operating vehicles weighing up to 3,500 kilograms. The Cybertruck already pushes incredibly close to this limit, and once you add passengers, cargo, or extra equipment, it easily crosses this line. That means to legally drive a Cybertruck in the UK, you'd actually need a special category C1 license, the same kind of license required for commercial vehicles or small delivery trucks. For a typical British driver looking for a cool daily electric vehicle, this licensing hurdle isn't just inconvenient, it's practically impossible. To put it simply, imagine needing the same license you'd use to drive a delivery van or mini truck just to run errands or pick up your kids from school. It's not exactly practical, right? And that's exactly the problem. What Tesla intended as a groundbreaking, consumer-friendly electric truck suddenly became legally treated like a heavy-duty commercial vehicle entirely due to its size and weight. The dramatic police seizure, the essential paperwork missing, the dangerously cool but unsafe design, and the problematic weight that turned Britain's roads into a regulatory nightmare for the Cybertruck. These combined factors sealed its fate, leading to a complete and official UK ban, leaving Tesla enthusiasts frustrated and Elon Musk in disbelief. It's definitely a crazy story, but perhaps a cautionary tale about innovation clashing with practicality. You know how Elon Musk always tries to push the boundaries of technology, right? Well, that's exactly what he did with the Cybertruck steering system, known as the steer-by-wire. Sounds fancy, right? It is. But it's also the very reason the UK flatly rejected it. Let me break it down for you in simple terms. Traditional cars use mechanical connections from your steering wheel directly to the wheels, allowing for predictable control and easy safety inspections. But Tesla decided to ditch that entirely. Instead, the Cybertruck uses purely digital signals to steer. Imagine steering your car with something more like a PlayStation controller rather than the physical mechanics you're used to. That's steer-by-wire. Now, the UK isn't necessarily against innovation, but there's a major catch. British safety regulations explicitly require that steering systems must be physically inspected to ensure reliability and safety. Because Tesla's system relies entirely on electronics and software, inspectors can't manually verify the safety components. This puts the Cybertruck automatically at odds with the UK's regulations. Basically, it's like Tesla brought a smartphone to a book inspection, cool and advanced, but completely incompatible with existing testing methods. It's ironic because steer-by-wire could offer superior control and safety under ideal conditions, yet it's exactly these forward-thinking features that became huge roadblocks for the Cybertruck in Britain. Regulators can't certify a system they can't physically test, and as a result, Musk's bold, futuristic steering design ended up sidelining the Cybertruck entirely.
Roethlisberger used ChatGPT to conduct searches about laws and what he would need to use to set off explosive powder. Specifically, they say he asked ChatGPT the amount of explosives he would need.
And if that wasn't enough trouble, Tesla's futuristic LED lights also caused a regulatory headache. You've probably seen the Cybertruck's slick, full-width LED headlight, a solid continuous strip running dramatically across the front, looking like something straight out of Blade Runner. It's certainly impressive, but according to UK safety rules, it's also dangerous. In Britain, vehicle lighting systems need to follow strict, detailed standards. Lights must be positioned at specific heights, brightness levels must be carefully regulated, and crucially, main and secondary lights must be housed separately. Tesla's full-width LED strip completely ignores these rules, merging all functions into one stylish but non-compliant unit. This seemingly small design choice turns into a significant hazard during typical British conditions like fog, rain, or low visibility. Authorities argued that drivers and pedestrians would struggle to identify the vehicle's dimensions or properly judge its distance, increasing the risk of accidents. So, what Tesla intended as a bold aesthetic move quickly became yet another safety nightmare in the eyes of the UK regulators. It's a classic case of innovative design clashing directly with practical road safety laws. Ultimately, while the Cybertruck's lightning might look stunning, it's simply not functional or safe according to British standards, and that sealed the Cybertruck's fate even further. In America, safety tests generally prioritize the protection of the people inside the vehicle. When the Cybertruck underwent US safety tests, it scored incredibly high, thanks to its ultra-durable stainless steel exoskeleton and massive size. For Americans, a vehicle built like a tank is seen as a safety advantage because it significantly reduces injuries to passengers in high-speed collisions. This heavy-duty approach aligns well with US safety guidelines, earning Tesla a coveted 5-star safety rating from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.